of the year. Since 2021 has begun, you've had the whole thing with the contract. There's been silence in Ann Arbor. It would be nice, I fear, if Jim Harbaugh were to step up to the podium and say, listen, that's what we're thinking. I understand it hasn't been good enough, but you don't get a whole lot of that either. Anybody that still believes in this man, I'm just curious why. Because my Harbaugh belief left 2 years ago.
At the stop sign,
I
turn
can't
right onto
believe
St.
that
James
anybody
Street.
believes this
Then
guy's
turn
going to change
left
the
onto
program.
East Jefferson
We do have
Avenue.
more calls if you want to take them.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, Devin and Brighton, you're on the ticket. Hey, Dev, what's up, bud?
Not much, just driving around, heading to work, listening to you guys.
Well, thank you.
What do you got, Devin?
I was just thinking, I've been a huge fan since I was
At the
little
light,
kid, and
turn
when I was
left
a
onto
kid,
East
I remember
Jefferson Avenue.
football having, Larry Foot, linebackers that came out, a great linebacking defense, and I know, we have Kevin Bush, and that kind of seems about it in the last 2 years.
4.1 miles, turn right onto Chrysler Drive.
With that being said, I think switching to the 3-4 will ruffle feathers. It's going to make some changes, but I think it's going to bring in some of the guys that we really need, add some weight to the Vipers, maybe make them some faster middle or faster outside linebackers that can cover and shed those tight end blocks against the Ohio State, Indiana, that are just destroying us across the middle. Once we do that, I do think if Harbaugh can focus on McCarthy or McNamara and get us that development that you guys are talking about, I think we can do it. I know I was listening yesterday to Lenny talking about how he was most scared when they didn't make the coaching switches that they wanted to make, and they just basically did a shuffle at the assistant position. Well, if that's the position that maybe scared to stay, then wouldn't that make it a little bit different for Michigan, seeing as how Harbaugh actually intervened and shuffled all of his coaching positions within the last 2-3 years?
Well, Devin, you make a good point because people were clamoring for change. And I know a lot of people wanted the change to be Harbaugh. That wasn't the change that happened. And Harbaugh looked at his staff and said, I need to get younger, I need to get different. And it is a very different staff with a very different defense. And with that change, that can be coupled with players leaving because they don't like the change, they don't like the coaches that they have or the scheme that's there. And what is being somewhat covered up, and this is no excuse, when you have a coaching change, you're going to see players leave. Now, it wasn't a head coaching change, it was a scheme change, mainly on defense, and that's where the bulk of your players are leaving. I know Xavier Worthy, that doesn't look good because he was a receiver. You've got, Zach Carpenter, who was an offensive lineman, but everybody transfers for a different reason. He transferred because there were things in his life and his family's life that he needed to make a change. So there are a number of different reasons, but across college football moving forward and basketball, any sport, because you're able to transfer and be immediately eligible when there is a change in the coaching staff, and it normally comes with the head coach and the entire staff, you're going to see players hit the transfer portal on a regular basis.
True, but, the last caller brought up D'Antonio. And you are right. I mean, he just reshuffled his same assistants, gave everybody a new tag, and everybody at that point probably knew that it was out, right? And then he ended up realizing, this gets you similar to that. And I know Harbaugh went out and got new assistants. However, this seems like with the contract he was given by Ward, it seems like everybody's just waiting for it to fade. That's what it seems like to me. And it almost seems like the writing is on the wall, and Harbaugh's going to end up walking away at some point, or you're going to end up backing him at some point, because I'm not exactly sure how much you can give this. Because you mentioned it, John, when you're making all these changes, you got a new DC, you're switching to a 3-4, you're losing some guys.
At the light, turn left onto Lafayette Street East.
How much time will it take to get back to what you said initially, that you got to beat the Buckeyes or beat Michigan State? And if you're telling me 2-3 years, who in God's name has that patience after the last 6 years of failing?
Well, so I know that when you talk about failing,
yeah,
and you're talking about it as a fan,
yeah,
that not beating Ohio State is a fail.
Total fail.
And as a former player, the standard is that you beat Ohio State, and that is a fail. But you've also got 3 10-win seasons in there. And you're calling all of those fails?
I'm calling
In
Jim
1 mile,
Harbaugh's
turn right
time
onto Mount
here
Elliott Street.
a failure. Because every player, and you're one of them, you all say the number one goal is to beat the Buckeyes. Well, you've come woefully short in that. And I guess you can, if you want, say, sweet 10-win season. But I will ask you this question, because I don't think anybody me in 6 years Jim Harbaugh's signature victory. When he went out and he beat a ranked team on the road, or he went out and beat a team that led you to a circumstance that you could put yourself in position to win a championship.
It's not there. I'll come
You
to
don't have
it. It's
anything.
not there.
So when you ask, I'm not saying you're asking, but when you say all these assistants that are coming in and a new staff, that comes with a rebuild, and in year 7 of the safe performance, not you, coming home, who's got it better than us? They are going to do rap videos and go spend nights in tree houses. When you're in year 7 and you're saying, well, guys, you know, that's not my Harbaugh voice, I swear. That's my voice in my head. But when you're saying, well, you know what, we're switching everything, we need a little patience, that to me is asinine.
That's why I brought up the thing about the uniform, because I don't think you can get that timeline doesn't jive.
Whack 'em.
And everybody wants to talk about Ohio State. I mean, it's an insult to the Buckeyes for us even to think that they can compete with them
I agree.
anytime soon. It's insulting. Here's the scary thing. This is the number that should really alarm people. It's 84 to 25. Who's that against the last 2 years?
Michigan State?
Oh,
Who's it against?
it's Ohio State.
No.
At the next light,
Wisconsin.
turn right.
You should be on par with Wisconsin at this point. 84 to 25. That's how bad it is.
Carolina 399 I didn't even know that number. That's a good
At the light, turn right onto Mount Elliott Street.
It's alarming. I just looked at it. I was thinking about the last season, and the game really got me upset about how bad it is.
In half a
And that's
mile,
what
turn
Wisconsin-
left onto East Werner Highway.
You're not competing with Wisconsin.
Well, they came off a break too, right? That was their first game in like 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they ran one play and just disposed of Michigan. But 248-539-9797 if you want to comment.
You guys talk about being Ohio State being insulted. I think Ohio State's insulted that they only. You guys thought they only scored 84 points on it the last 2 years.
Right, yes, that number is over 100. I was doing the math in my head, and yes, that was an underestimation.
Now, coming up next,
Go
we'll
past
talk
this
about
light.
if Michigan
Then at
would
the
have
next
played Ohio
one,
State,
turn
how
left.
many points Ohio State would have scored on Michigan. No, I'm kidding. Coming up next is Heather with news. Heather, what do we got?
I'm going to tell you about a
At the
auto
light,
driver.
turn
He
left onto
clearly
East
had
Werner
somewhere to be-
Highway.
Somewhere to be at a certain time because he tried to pull off a Dukes of Hazzard stunt. And I'm going to tell you what happened and why the police are involved.
No. I don't know what came over. I heard Dukes of Hazzard. 97 when
In 1 mile, turn left onto Gratiot Avenue.
Financially, even my mortgage. It took time to get to know my situation. Throughout the entire mortgage process, I was present with all the projects. I'm the one that covers the progress, product. You can look at how much Michigan South
Use the right lane to turn left onto Gratiot Avenue, then keep left to merge onto Fisher Freeway toward I-75. Keep left to merge onto Fisher Freeway toward I-75. In 2.5 miles, take exit 48 to merge onto I-96 toward Lansing.
Check this video out. What do you think? You want to get in on this too? Yeah. Enough alcohol, you can talk about
Then at the
all
next
sorts
one,
of things.
use the
Grab that
7 lanes
hemorrhoid
left to
cream.
turn
I'm
left
looking to
onto
get a little
Northwest
bigger.
Highway 24 service road.
So there was a woman in England who recently bought a house right next to a highway. Okay, you know, when you buy a house, you normally go check out the house numerous times. You look at the surroundings. So she should have known what she was buying, but now she's complaining about the noise. She's so upset that she actually wants the city to lower the speed limit on the highway so that the cars drive slower, right? And make less noise.
Continue on to
And
Telegraph
it's
Road.
so ridiculous. Anyway, she did this interview with the Sun in her backyard just so everyone could hear the amount of traffic she's dealing with.
Basically, when we moved in, we only found out the day after how horrendous it was. It normally starts at around about 5:30, and you can hear the SUVs hurtling past so much so that the vibration goes into the bed. So we have to go to sleep with earphones, with earplugs in, because we know we're going to get woken up.
She posted her story on the internet, and of course, there's not many people giving her sympathy, saying, "Lady, dude, you looked at this house. You're the one who bought it, knowing it was literally right next to a highway. This is on you."
And if you want to sell it, you better take that video down.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna be stuck with that house forever.
You know, it's funny. I just recently bought a house at a golf course, and
Oh,
I've asked
is
the
it right next to Stoney's? Do you share a moat?
Yes, we do. Yes, of course, it separates our houses. I just got a raise here at the station, and I've asked the golf course to stop allowing actual golf because the balls keep hitting my house. Like, how
Right,
stupid
exactly.
is that?
I know. I agree. Ridiculous.
All right. Thank you, Heather. You know, it's a little cloudy outside. I don't like it. I'm going to ask the sun to come out. Who do I talk to about that? All right, coming up next, this is very exciting. There are people, I think men, that are doing rather well in this endeavor. I think Heather might be able to talk to us a little bit about it. I gotta believe there's some great stories
Go past
about it.
this light.
One
Then at the
person
next
at this
one,
radio
turn
station, I
right.
have no idea if I'm allowed to say who it is or not, is doing it and killing it. I'll tell you
At the
what
light,
it is next, the
turn right
97
onto
way to
West
take it.
Chicago.
Hey, if you're dealing with old sports injuries, arthritis, or joint pain, if you've been told you need a new hip or a new knee, pay attention because I need to tell you about Straith Orthopedics. Dr. Brandt and Dr. Fleischman at Straith
3/4
Orthopedics
of a
are
mile.
Michigan's
Turn
top
left
hip
onto
and knee
Marion Crescent.
robotic joint replacement surgeons. Why do you want to use a robot? The surgeon can plan your entire procedure in advance. The incisions are more precise. It's less invasive, less chance of human error, less tissue, muscle, and ligaments removed. Therefore, you have a much quicker recovery time, like walking almost right after hip replacement. And robotic joint replacement comes at no additional cost to the patient because at Straith, they accept most insurance. And if you're concerned about going to a hospital, we hear all the stories about the COVID patients and the number of patients right now. Their hospital is a specialty surgery hospital. So you're not there with sick patients. There are no COVID patients there. You don't have to wander around a hospital trying to find the orthopedic wing of a hospital. And if you've got to spend the night, there is no sharing. You get your own private 5-star suite. I've seen them. They're awesome. If you are in pain, don't wait another day. Give Straith Orthopedics a call. Mention my name. You can call them at 855-STRAIGHT. That's 855-STRAIGHT. STRAITH, or online at straith.org. Straith Orthopedics is committed to you.
Turn left onto Marion Crescent. Then the destination is on your right.
Attention, Michigan. Do you really want the new car?
There are times when it's hard to ignore that you may have a gambling problem. Like when you're at the casino and you've withdrawn the maximum amount from your ATM.
Withdrawal denied.
When you can't leave the tables. Yet
The
you don't
destination
have
is on your right.
food.
9361 Marion Crescent. Denied. Arrived.
Can't seem to pump the brakes on gaming and then can't fill up your gas tank.